Hello there, everybody. This is Dev here with the Rogue Deck Chronicle podcast. And this week, I want to look at a ability in a deck that was really good back in the day when the original black and white set was there. And then now we got it back. And that is Inferno Fandango Emboar. So it's going to look a little different, obviously. The meta has evolved, the game has evolved, but this ability is still really good. So Inferno Fandango is an ability to read as often as you want during your turn. You may attach a basic fire energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So in this deck, we're going all fire. We're not going to add any real spicy text, even though there's plenty in the card pool we could add if we really wanted to. But with that Fire Fandango ability, we are basically Rain Dance with fire energy. So let's go see what our options are in this deck and how that kind of shapes our matchups. So first is going to be Ethan's Magcargo, actually. So Ethan's Magcargo has a really good synergy with this because of the Lava Burst attack. So for 3 fire energy, it's 70 times, and you can discard up to 5 energy from this Pokemon. Use 70 times the amount of damage for the amount of energy you discard with the attack. So we're able to hit up to 350, which means we can one-shot those stage 2 EX Pokemon if we discard 5, and getting 5 on it is not the end of the world. And if we discard all the energy off Ethan's Magcargo, it has free retreat. So we could discard all the energy we want attached to it, and then if it survives that next turn, we can pivot out to another attacker if we don't want to try to discard more energy. So Ethan's Magcargo is one of our Glass Cannon cards with the energy there, as well as the other single prize attacker in this deck is Entei. Entei has Blaze Ball. Old school Emboar fans remember Blaze Ball. Delphox, well, we have Blaze Ball Entei. So it has the ability Pressure as long as it's in the active spot. Attacks used by opponent's active do 20 less damage, so we could take a little less damage, 130 HP on a single prize attacker. Not really much of a factor. But that Blaze Ball for 3 colors energy is 60, and then does 20 more for every fire energy attached to this Pokemon. So we could put as many energies we need to attack with it, and kind of just have it as our single prize pivot as well. Now, in terms of the other attackers, we do run 1 Gouging Fire EX for the Blaze Blitz. 3 energy, 260 is not bad. And then we also run 1 Hearthflame Mask Ogerpon EX. 3 energy attacks, 2 of them. One of them is Wrathful Hearth, 20 times the amount of damage counters on it. So if it takes a hit, it can bring it back, take that damage back and double it back out. And then Dynamic Blaze does 140, and if your opponent's active is an evolution, it does 140 more, and you discard all energy. So if we need to do 280 to a evolution, we can definitely do that. Toss some discarded energy. And then last but not least is a new card from this set, and an old buddy of Emboar, which is Reshiram, this time in the EX form. That Blazing Burst attack for 3 energy does 130, and there's 50 more for each prize card your opponent has taken, so really good endgame attacker, all at the cost of discarding an energy. So a lot of energy discarding in this deck. And then to round off that energy, our draw engine of choice for this version of Emboar is Revavroom, the Rumbling Engine ability. You must discard an energy from your hand in order to use this ability. If you do so, you may draw until you have 6 cards in hand. So not a bad little piece of just energy acceleration. And we're putting a whole bunch of energy into this card pile, so what are we doing? Well, we have Night Stretcher. We can get one of those energy back, or we can get a piece back from the discard in terms of Pokemon. We do run 2 superior energy retrievals to get up to 4 energy back from the discard pile back into our hand. We are running 3 Earthen Vessels to get that energy into our hand as well. So there is how we kind of manage our energies. We do run Precious Trolley as our ace spec of choice to allow us to fill out our bench with a whole bunch of basics. So we have a Tepig, a Varoom, we want to get a Slugma, we want to get 2 of our EX Pokemon, an Entei. We have plenty of basic options to fill out that bench as soon as possible. Emboar is a stage 2, so we're running 2 rare candies because our Emboar line is a 2-1-2. We are not going to try to go the slow way. We want to skip evolutions as much as possible, but we do run the Pignite just in case. And then, in terms of our supporter line, we are running 2 Boss for Gust, just kind of put the right Pokemon in the active so we can knock it out. We are running 2 Hilda. Hilda is an energy acceleration card as well as an evolution card. We do run multiple evolution lines with the Emboar, with the Revavroom, and with the Eden's Magcargo. So picking the piece we need for the turn is not bad. We are running 3 Iono for disruption and draw. And then our pure draw cards is Morty's Conviction, so we get to draw equal to amount of bench Pokemon. There is still plenty of decks out there that love having full benches. Discarding card and drawing 5, 6, 7 sometimes is not bad. And then we're running 2 Professor's Research for our discard and draw, so we can be as aggressive as we can. And then we are running 14 Fire Energy. 14 does sound like a lot. I think you can even add more if you really wanted to go a little more aggressive, but I liked 14 when I was doing testing. Kind of sat very comfortably with me, but I would not be surprised if you want to add more, especially with the Blaze Ball, especially with some of the discarding cards we do. I get it if you want to add more. So there's a deck list. As always, this deck list will be in the comment section of the video. And if you have any suggestions, anything you want to throw in there, please comment on the video as well, because I love seeing everyone's ideas. We love talking about texts and suggestions and all that kind of stuff. I am very well aware we could add a couple Luminous Energies into this deck, add an Iron Hands, and just see what else it can happen. But I wanted to go pure fire, except for the Revavroom for the energy acceleration. So let's jump onto the ladder. See how it goes. Alright, time for us to jump into a game, and we are leading off with Tepig with a rare candy in hand. Unfortunately, we don't have the Emboar yet, but we are running into Iron Hands, Latias, so this could be some form of all basics. Big basic EX. Yeah, it's Miraidon. Okay. It's Miraidon. Big basic EX, basically. Which is going to be okay. Ah, it's Joltik Box. Okay. Joltik Box for variation, so not too crazy. Morty's Conviction is going to be really valuable this turn already, which is great to see. Let's just do Morty's right now. We're going to get 4, which is not a bad value. I'm going to put the other Tepig in play just in case we lose the first one next turn. We have both rare candies. I'm just going to hard attach to the Reshiram and then end turn. We have partial pieces to a lot of different moves. I'm just going to be very curious on what our opponent will do next turn. The Crispin. So he's going to sacrifice this Joltik in order to start powering up his bench here. That Iron Hands is concerning. Either we need to get him a Magcargo up quickly, or we need to get a Gouging Fire up to take care of that Iron Hands one shot. Yeah, because that Iron Hands is ready to go for an Ampy very much already. So we have a boss, but we really don't have any real way of handling all of this. Oof. I guess we'll attach to Reshiram in turn. Ideally, next turn we draw into the Emboar, we can rare candy an Emboar, and then we can get rid of everything. I just didn't want to research away both of our rare candies right now. But if he just takes the 2 prizes, that Reshiram turns into a 230. And as long as he doesn't really have any other attackers set up. Yeah, he has the Pikachu there. But we can offset some of this. Well, the heavy baton, we can't really offset that. But at least we can get the prizes back. If we can... If he does take... He's going to amp you very much. I would be very shocked if he didn't. So... Now is where this is a do or die turn for us. We have to kind of get our pieces. I'm not against the Morty's Conviction, actually. I think the Morty's Conviction is actually just as viable as a research here. We'll get the 2 prizes. We'll try to stabilize the turn a little bit here. The Buddy-Buddy can get us the Varoom. Yeah, I saw that the Topaz Ball coming. We can try to just feed another prize here. Like, yeah, he's just gonna make us go through Pikachus. That's what our opponent wants us to do, is make us go through Pikachus here. We have a boss, so if we can set up ways to go around it, we can. But it's going to take a couple turns here. Okay. We have the Slugma, we have a Rare Candy, we have a Buddy. Wait, we have some pieces here. Okay. I'm not against what we're about to do to a small little bit here. So let's Ultra Ball away, a Rare Candy, and another Slugma. Let's get an Emboar into play. Let's Rare Candy the Emboar. Let's Buddy-Buddy. One Varoom. Let's put an Entei into play. Let's switch out to the Entei. And then we're just going to end turn. I'm just going to hold my hand as is for right now. And then see what our opponent does with their turn. They're going to Crispin again. They're going to try to get that Pikachu set up. A Pikachu set up. It doesn't matter which one, honestly. They're both full health. We have no way to really turn off their ability. But we do have ways to go around their Pikachus a little bit if we can get enough energy. Where we could just put the Magcargo up, get the Latias, like, he's giving us prizes so we could pick. Okay, so he's deciding not to do anything with the Entei this turn. He basically just gave us a turn here, which I'm not against. So let's see what this rumbling engine gives us. Gave us 2 energies, it's not horrible. We can do 120, but is that worth a prize, I guess, is the question, right? I think the 120 is worth picking into the Pikachu here. Actually, I think it's worth hitting into the Pikachu with the energy. Because we can't one-shot it because of the ability. So if we can actually 2-shot it and get ahead by a turn, I'm not going to be upset. So we could research next turn, get a fresh hand, and kind of see what we do here. Even if he tries to item lock us, I'm not worried about the item lock as much. We really don't need items. The research will do what we need. The ability will do what we need. And now we have one of the 2 Pikachu EXs kind of in a threat, like they're threatened by it. So yeah, he's gonna 300 us. That's cool. We can get the 180 back and not worry about the ability proccing anymore. 180 is just 3 energies off the Magcargo. And then while we dig, we can try to get another Reshiram. Maximum Belt puts our EXs into danger zone, but he has 2 prizes, so it doesn't matter. That 180 does turn into 230 though. So he's going to make us hit into things. That's what he's going to do. He's going to make us hit into things. So I'm just going to research away. We don't really need anything in that hand. How many energies in the discard pile? Enough to make that actually worth it, which is fantastic. I'm going to hold on to this Reshiram until we need it. Actually, he's taken 4. That's 330. But if we put the Reshiram up too soon, then he can take game. That's the concern here. So we know we're doing 120. I know, game. I know. I'm thinking out loud. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're just gonna grab 4 energy. I'm gonna grab try to dig just a tad, not too much. Okay. Yeah, see, I want to hold on to these. I really don't want to put too much pressure onto our board. So we're just gonna poke for 160. So now do we use both our bosses or just play the one? We do have a boss in the deck, so there is a path of us kind of clawing back. It'd be a little tough. But the second we can... If we draw the boss, I'm going after the Pikachu of Energy. Because I'm not as worried about the Galvantula as much. The 230... actually, I'm worried about both. There's 2 threats. There's 2 threats that we really can't really go through with our EX boomsticks, but we do have, like, the Entei can take care of both right now. The Magcargo can take care of the other. So they're not in, like, we have options, right? And I don't think our opponent really knows what to do with us. Okay. So it looks like Topaz Bolt coming our way, getting rid of that Entei. Which is fine, because the Entei puts all those energies back to where we can grab them. Here's the thing, I think he put us in a checkmate position. Unless he can't accelerate next turn, which I hope he can't. So we are just going to take what the cards can give us. I think the deck has actually put us in a position where we're not in a super crazy spot. I'm gonna hold everything now, because there's no need for us to try to draw. But I will want to just discard all 3, just so it can become a free retreater. Take 2 more prizes this turn. Got 2 Night Stretchers means we can just grab 2 more energy. So that's good to see. Now here's my question. Can you do a way to get the 130 this turn? If you can't, I wouldn't be against trying to dig before that last boss's order, assuming it's not prized in the last 2 prizes. So we're bossed. That's why we're holding our energy. He's trying to slow us down. So if we can get a boss, again, I haven't checked. We haven't been able to dig into the deck for a minute, so another fire energy. So let's get Revavroom out of the active. Let's do damage in the Pikachu. Do I want to just... I'm going to Night Stretcher, grab an energy, so we can just grab 2 cards. Again, we're going to thin our deck just a tad here with this move. Earthen Vessel, great. So let's Earthen Vessel away the Emboar piece that we don't need. 2 energy, let's throw those in the hand. Again, we're just thinning that deck out as best we can. And I want to purposely only tag it for 140, because there's no point in getting rid of all 3 energy. No real point. He's just going to be making us chase, which is fine. The second we get that boss, we'll be in a much better position. Because what I can do this turn is I could just basically go all in. Dump energy. put all the Pokemon onto the bench. Rumbling Engine for us, and basically just try to dig into the deck. I should have, when I was doing the Earthen Vessel, just double check if this is even a play, because if without the boss, it's really not a play period. So actually, I'm gonna pick the two. That's the two I want to pick. Yeah, boss is there. Boss is there, guys. So there's 6 cards in deck. We got game. We got game because we can nuke the Latias. We stumbled our way into this win. Like, I'm not even going to try to say we played this perfectly. We didn't. But we played it well enough to force our opponent into a position to where we had to force them into a lot of very, very tough decisions. Like, we gave them the single prize. That's why we run the Ethans. That's why we run the Entei. We put them into a position where they couldn't just take a whole bunch of free prizes. They put up that Iron Hands. We are able to get all that back quickly. And we used all 60 cards of our deck to accomplish that. So really good game for this Inferno Fandango deck against a very high level Joltex box deck. And let's jump into another game to see how we do. Let's jump into another match here. We are going second, and leading with the Entei and then having Slugma on bench actually is a really great lead. We have Nest Ball, Buddy-Buddy, so we can grab the Varoom, we can grab the Tepig, we can Nest Ball in another attacker depending on what we see here. So okay, so drop pass, which is fine. A lot of decks don't really do much turn 1 if they're going first anyway. So let's see what we can pop off with here. Let's Nest Ball. I think Gouging Fire is just really strong in most early to mid games for us here. We're gonna Hilda, and what I want to Hilda is a Revavroom and an energy. I actually do want to attach an energy to Entei just so we can get a little bit done. And we're going to end turn. So we have the Iono for next turn already good to go. We have the Revavroom, so we'll just evolve depending on what we pull. And then there's their Iono. So they didn't like their hand at all. So let's see what we get here. Iono, Earthen Vessel, a Trolley is 1 turn too late, which is fine. So Typhlosion is what we're going to. So we're going to hit into a lot of single prizers here. So we need to get set up pretty quickly here. So Trolley and an energy away here for Ultra Ball. Let's Ultra Ball and grab that Revavroom right now. Let's evolve. I'm gonna go double. I'm gonna try to see if going single prize ourselves with the Magcargo is a good call for us. So we're gonna Rumbling Engine away the Fire Energy to get 4 fresh cards. Night Stretcher away. Nothing for that. So we're gonna Iono ourselves. Try to see if we can get 6 other cards outside of that. We got the Emboar, but not the Rare Candy. We got the Rare Candy, but not the Emboar, so I think we're just gonna end turn. I think our opponent, well, we don't know now. We just both just traded Ionos, but we're in a position where I'm not absolutely desperate to try to put a lot of pressure down. Ooh, a Morty's Conviction, if we can pull that, would be fantastic. There's an Ethan's Adventure. I had a feeling, I'm like, where's Ethan Adventures coming? We're going to start seeing Koalas. We're going to start seeing those Typhlosion pieces. Yep. So yeah, our opponent now is going to go into full send. But 100 for us is not hard to hit. So we just need to try to get to a spot where we can start doing stuff. Yes, I'm not playing the most optimally right now because I was just trying to dig a little bit because we just need pieces, and we're just like we're always just one piece away from being able to really pop off. See, like, we're getting the rare candy, but we're not getting. So we're gonna end the turn. We have a boss, we have the energy. We're gonna be doing 120 with Entei this turn. So we're not seeing. Yeah, Bonded by Journey means he's just gonna be able to get the Ethan's Adventure. But if we can get to a spot where we just get that Emboar, we have the rare candy. 170 isn't too difficult to try to get. He's just pulling cards out of his deck. He's probably realized we used a lot of our Ionos, so they just want to get cards in their hands, try to get them out. Alright, so the Victini is stuck, so if we can get a way to get what we need, then we would be fine, but I really don't want to get rid of a boss's order. So let's see. Hilda, okay. We finally get the combination that we've been desperately looking for, which is Rare Candy Emboar. So 60, 80, 100, 120, plus 2 more gets us to 160. So we don't have enough to just go and grab the Typhlosion for this turn. So I am going to... I'm just going to end turn. I really don't want to hit into this Victini. Yeah, there's a Pheasantipity. So as long as we can get the 4 prizes, that Pheasantipity could be live later. Ethan's Adventure, which would be the second one in the discard pile for them. Yeah, so they're set up with their attackers. We have our attackers. They're gonna grab their Pidgeot. So again, 2 more prizes to grab here. This type's Typhlosion deck, I know we profiled on the channel. We called it a road deck at the time because no one was really playing for it. But now with the black and white set, it's really just turned on. Lately, I think a lot of players finally saw its hidden potential. So we're just now, this is just a big old game of chicken. Who's going to strike first? And I think for us, it's important that we do. To be like, I really do think it's important that we strike first and we go and lean into our single prizers as much as possible here. But the problem is we had a Morty to get the cards we needed here. We have 4 cards. I know, game, I know. I'm just gonna intern. I really don't want to turn on really much for him. But I think just letting that Victini run away was just a bad play for us. So yeah, there was that was a tough decision kind of spot for me. Okay, you're going after the Gouging Fire for sure. Oh no! You see the fact that we really rely on that Emboar. And he's up and running. He has all that he needs in the discard pile, looks like. Okay, that's fine. We actually can get that back slowly. It's going to take us a turn or two, and we're going to have to make our opponent have to go through some pieces, but we can do it. So I am going to slowly set up I'm gonna poke into this Typhlosion and see what our opponent does, because he has attacker stream, so we have to be able to try to rebound. And if he does another boss and just takes out the Tepig, then that's honestly that's the engine. The Typhlosions are set up. We were not aggressive enough in this match. I'm curious they boss for Gouging Fire and just run away for the prizes. That's why no way we can chase them back. No. They are allowing us an opportunity to kind of claw back enough. Because we have this, but the problem is, like, they're gonna be able to one-shot everything that we have here. I want a Night Stretcher back the Entei, actually. We'll take the KO. Assuming, because what we see Typhlosion's ready. We have another Ethan's Magcargo with Earthen Vessel. If we force feed, and we have no cards in deck, so we were ultra aggressive draw, but we really didn't do much with that draw. So we can Ethan's Magcargo next turn to KO this Typhlosion. And then I think the fact that we could probably just go after the 2 prizers soon. So for 180, I'll need 60 plus 6, so I need 5 more energies. Versus here where I just need 3. think I'm just gonna go for the easier prize right now. I think getting to the 3 is significantly easier than getting to the 6. Let's see how many energies we have left in the deck. Just 1. Okay. Let's Iono cards into the deck. We get a superior energy retrieval. We can. So we're going to be playing with fire, figuratively and literally here. We're going to KO I'm gonna get the Gouging Fire set up here for prizes. Okay, so we're gonna knock out this Typhlosion. Which gets us down to 4 prize cards. There's an energy. Obviously, he's going to return KO this Typhlosion. So he's building up a 4th one. Do we have another superior energy retrieval? We can get another one, yes. We knew the Buddy Blast was coming. That is not shocking us. You know what? I think we're at the point in no return where the Entei is not going to be enough. I need 5 energies and I only have 1 realistically. So I'm willing to blast this one. See if we see another Typhlosion, which we probably will. But I kind of had to just get rid of the threat in front of us. And if they have the Typhlosion, which they're promoting this Guava, they definitely do, then we'll take the L. But honestly, that's a really good showing of how this deck can go back and forth with Typhlosion, with the single prize. We just ran out of steam. The deck, like, we went through the deck and didn't do enough. Like, I really do think that us fearing the bench and not going after it was the fatal flaw for us in that game. So 1, 2. Yeah, if he's quick searching, he's grabbing that Typhlosion. Grab the Typhlosion, evolve it, and move on. But we see the power of this deck with the Emboar, Entei putting that pressure, the Magcargo doing damage, basically feeding those single prizers until we're ready to put a double prize. It's fantastic. So we just have to kind of see. We have 2 bosses in hand right here, so we can just start feeding into these 2 prizers if we wanted to. But just leaving Typhlosion on the board in this case, with not having enough attackers, I think you're stuck between a rock and a hard place when placing Typhlosion. I think it's going to be a really good call for the World's meta, post-World's meta for sure. Just kind of seeing what our opponent is trying to do. Unless they just ran out of Typhlosions and when they redeem a little ticket, they put them into their prizes by accident. So I'm curious on what we're going to see here. Because we're in an odd prize trade here, so the double boss's orders is great only if we can knock out and catch up here. I think our opponent ran out of gas, so this is our opportunity to try to recover here. We have 2 cards. We have to take multi-prizes. We just don't have enough energy to really do anything. I can't do Blitz again. So let's just get rid of the research from our hand, search our deck. Yeah, so the Superior Energy Retrieval is prized. So we've ran out of gas. Unfortunately, we have ran out of gas just as much as our opponent. So we'll give them an opportunity to find the Typhlosion. Give them the opportunity to blow up this Gouging Fire a little bit here. We are just a couple cards away. Or our opponent's going to try to deck us out one or the other. So, but if our opponent is stuck, I will concede next turn. I think they're in a better board state than we are. But that's, like we were talking about, the Revavroom did a good job of kind of refilling our hand. The Emboar, it just took a minute to get to that Emboar. That was another piece that was a little frustrating in this deck. We were kind of looking at the list. But the Enteis, the Magcargos are honestly undervalued cards with this kind of meta. Opponent walked away and AFK'd. But that was really a win for Typhlosion. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but it did show off a lot of what we did in this deck. It was a really good kind of display of both the Typhlosion deck that I'm sure we're seeing at Worlds this weekend and our Emboar Fire Fandango deck. Alright guys, so there is Inferno Fandango Emboar in the black and white set here, coming back after almost 15 years when those were originally made. It's such a fun ability to play. We have such great single prize fire attackers in the format with Ethan's Magcargo, with the Entei, which Blaze Ball was really good back in the day, just not hitting the numbers. I think if the 20 for each fire was a 30 for each fire, then the math would be a lot better. It would just be a different type of matchup. And then the Reshiram EX is a really good late game attacker. I know we weren't able to see much of it in the matches we showed off today, but that 130 plus 50 toward the end of the game, you can one-shot pretty much everything when you bring it in the right circumstances. The one card I would for sure try to find a replacement would be this Hearthflame Mask Ogerpon. It's a good card in the right circumstances, but with 210 and having a outburst, outrage style attack where you're doing damage based on how many damage counters, too many things can one-shot it now to where you're not just sitting with 50, 60, 150, 160 HP on it to really return that damage the way you want. So there's a lot of things here I would change. I've definitely seen archetypes put in a couple lightning energy and then put in Iron Hands for that prize manipulation as well. But that is the list that we wanted to go with. We went with fire attackers with a Revavroom engine. If you have any suggestions or any changes you would make to the list, put that down in the comments section. And while you're down there, definitely hit the subscribe button and like the video. We try to do a little off meta kind of stuff. We would definitely want to showcase what the other cards in the card pool can be. Not every single deck needs to have an Iron Hands or a Dragon Bolt. We definitely want to have some fun with the card pool. But thank you guys so much for made it this far into the video. We appreciate you. And as always, have fun playing those sneaky decks. Bye guys.